Fresh off the heels of the Streets Are Talking, we're getting that out of the way. We got one more minor league football game to go here. SFLm Week 9 action live and in living color here in Boston, Massachusetts, where the 2-6 Boston Rebels looking to snap their 3-game losing streak, get themselves some forward momentum heading into the final part of the season against a San Jose team looking to forget the offensive woes that they had last week, and they're at 5-3, so looking to get some help. Welcome in tonight, y'all. I am Brett Solberg alongside DJ Kilgannon in what hopes to be a fantastic matchup. These two teams on the downswing didn't have great results this past week, looking to turn things around tonight. What are going to be the key factors for these two teams to get on the right way heading this final stage of the season?
Well, you know, Brett, these teams are kind of on polar opposites right now. You know, their records are completely different, but Boston's defense is one of the most formidable in the league. Their defensive line with 15 sacks as a team, doing solid all season. San Jose, their pass game is absolutely lethal. Luis Caduti and Victor Rojas combining for over 1,500, just those two. And I think it's going to be, I think it's really going to come down to Boston and if they can stop that passing attack.
And we are underway here in Boston. The Rebels going to get the return up to the 30-yard line, and we're going to see their offense first, led by the towering 6'8" wonder known as Dakota West under center. And Dakota West hasn't been a great game last week for them. 15 of 27, 247 in yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick.
Yeah, it was a rough one last week for Dakota.
Start off with split backs here on first down, 3-receiver set. West back to throw, will try to go wide, finds the target, and it will be the slot receiver in Angel Maldonado to get the catch. Let's quickly talk about this offense from the Boston Rebels. We mentioned Dakota West and the running backs, Jacob Brewer and Lenore West. Bismarck Wright is the fullback. Wide receiver core, Joey Hightower, Curtis Friesen, and Angel Maldonado. Django West and Mike Kleinknecht are going to be the tight ends, along with O-lineman Oliver Taras, Demon Pickle, and Porsche Henson. Handoff. It's only going to go for minimal gain. Look to be for West, but it's going to be 3rd and inches coming up for the Rebels.
Yeah, now San Jose, we're going to see what they can do. And, you know, in a short downage scenario, Boston, excuse me, you know, their run game has been, you know, they rely on it. Sometimes it doesn't pull through, but in these short yardage scenarios, it usually does.
High formation, 2 heavy sets. This looked to be a perfect ace formation. They aren't going to move Bismarck Wright offset. And it will be a handoff trying to get past the first down marker, and it won't be it. Great stop from the San Jose defense. It's now 4th and 1.
Quintana was able to get behind the line and blow that one up. And, you know, just talked about how usually that run game is pretty solid in those short yard to gain scenarios, but San Jose completely bottled that one up, and now Boston going to put it into the hands of that San Jose offense.
Yeah, punt is away, heading back to San Jose. There's plenty of space. Back, it's going to be a fumble. It's recovered back by the Rebels. What a recovery from the Rebels after a bad start with the offense. It's going to be Brewer with the fumble recovery to get Boston great position.
Wow, how tragic is that? Jacob Brewer is, yeah, like you said, the one to scoop it up, and now it's like they just had a huge bomb. I mean, now they're well on the other side of the field and might have a chance to score.
Almost felt like a 50-yard pass coming from Boston. Yeah. And now it's going to be split backs with 2 receivers here on 1st and 10 at the 27. And it will be a handoff this time to Wright, and gets hit. A big hit from the defense, but it's going to be a decent gain. Makes it a 2nd and manageable coming up for Boston.
Yeah, not often are you going to see a dude like Bismarck Wright get hit that hard. What a hit by the incoming backer. If I'm not mistaken, I think, or it was the safety. I think that was Cletus Youngblood who made that hit.
Yeah, and you're talking about 6'3", 225 clashing with Bismarck Wright and 240 pounds. That's a tough man to get through. Ace on 2nd and 5 coming up. It's going to be a handoff again to Wright. Cuts to the outside and does find a couple extra yards, but it is going to be another 3rd and short coming up for the Rebels.
Now let's see if this time they're able to convert. Not as close as they were the first time, but I imagine after their first attempt failing, maybe they'll have some better luck this go around. But it seems like a very similar formation, if not the exact same as the time before.
It's another ace formation here on 3rd and 1, and it's going to be a good block job from the line. And Lenore West had plenty of space to get the first down and then some. They're going to say 1st and goal.
Yeah, she takes off there around the edge and has plenty of room. Much better attempt than their first go around at the 3rd and short. And now Boston trying to take full advantage of the simple mistake made by the flight.
Just a whole different feeling just from a minute ago, DJ. 1st and goal inside the 10. West back to throw, finds a one-handed catch inside the 5. It's going to be a little bit short, but Kleineck gets a nice catch to get it to 2nd and goal.
And Kleineck has just been reliable. I think that's the best word to use for him as far as he goes. And he's been the best as terms in yards for this Boston squad as far as receiving goes. And he's just been such a good target.
Thick and heavy on 2nd and goal, and will be a handoff to Wright, who will walk right into the end zone, right down Main Street. 6 on the board for Boston.
Untouched into the end zone. I mean, they could have gave it to their smallest back and they would have been fine, but Bismarck does the job, hurdles over a lineman and punches it into the end zone. And my goodness, Brett, what a quick, what a fast changing dynamic this game has been.
Yeah, their first drive, it ended up with a 3 and out, but it still went their way. Got great field position on the fumble recovery. Extra point is up and good. And instead of talking about San Jose moving down the field, Boston gets an 8-play, 36-yard drive to get themselves their first points of the game and the first points of the game in this contest. 7-0 is Boston ahead.
Yeah, now finally get to see San Jose's offense on the board as long as they don't fumble. We'll get to see them try and put some points on the board. And Brady White has been leading a really good offense as soon as he's got jumped back into the league.
It is going to be Coduty on the return. It was Parker the last time that had that fumble earlier on, and it will be recovered at the 31-yard line. And we're going to see that Brady White. DJ, last week, 5 picks, a night to forget in terms of keeping the ball clean for Brady White.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just a game all these San Jose fans want to wipe from their memory. But now, I mean, they're certain. I mean, he had plenty of yardage. I mean, they used him so much. I mean, do you think they go back to that well?
No, I would expect more running, but they're going to go with a pass first off for White. It is going to be caught, and it's a nice catch and secure from Victor Rojas. Let's quickly talk through this San Jose offense. We mentioned Brady White. The running backs, Ace Ketchum, Aunt Tim, fullback Speedy Gonzalez. Wide receiver core, well-known Victor Rojas, Louis Coduty, Aiden Teixeira, and Kevin Parker. Tight ends, Rodney Smith and Sanj Singh, with O-linemen Rachel Miller, Queen Porter, and Sarah Bergens. Handoff this time to Aunt Tim, who will get no gain. Great job from the Boston defensive front. That's going to be William Patterson with the tackle.
Yeah, and William Patterson has been just such a solid piece of this defense. He has 2 sacks and plenty of tackles right at the line to match with that.
3rd and 2 is the first third down opportunity for San Jose. They want to make some noise after Boston did on their last drive. They're going to shift a tight end in motion. That is going to be Rodney Smith. Handoff once again to Aunt Tim. Gets plenty of space over the side and gets to midfield. Great job from the line to open up that gap. Great work from Tim to get to midfield.
Yeah, that was Moss Booker who was able to chase him down and make the tackle. There's 2 right on the heels of the runner there, and finally able to drag him down after a pretty solid run and able to move the chains for San Jose.
Name of the game, DJs, to have a well-balanced offense, both from the pass and the run, and definitely San Jose wants to get that run game more involved. 1st and 10. Quick step drop for White. Looks for Rojas on that slot, but maybe throws it a little bit too far for his hands. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, just a little bit too far in front, and I don't hate the attempt because if it was there, probably could have gone for a decent chunk of yardage, but you know, the playbook's still pretty open. You still got a few chances to make something happen.
And Brady White, the ever-confident quarterback in this minor league as well, believes in himself and himself only sometimes, but that could be a good thing when you're the QB1 of a team like San Jose who loves to pass the football.
Yeah, absolutely.
White back to throw on a 5-step drop, looks for Rojas again, and it's well covered by the Boston defense. That's great coverage from Jimmy Hatzis. Showtime getting it done early.
Yeah, Jimmy Showtime Hatsis getting a hand on that one, able to bat it down. Really nice play there. It was just one-on-one. That's all that was, and Hatsis took it by the horns and was able to bat that one down. Great play, leaving him in third and long scenario.
Yeah, the two defensive backs that we have to focus on in Boston, Cruz control, Hudson Cruz, and we just saw Showtime Jimmy Hatsis involved. 3rd and 10 for Brady White as he steps back, looks down middle once again, and it had an open look, and that was a decent look to Coduti, but it was deflected mid-air. 4th and 10 for San Jose.
Yeah, Morgan Brown had the hops there, able to jump up and swat that one away. Some really nice play here from the defensive backs of Boston. And, usually that's not a crew that we highlight too often with this squad because the defensive front gets so much, eyes on them from how many sacks they produce. But the defensive back squad is really, really solid, and they just showed it there.
And now Boston will get the ball back. Joey Hightower with the return, but an injury on the play. Cletus Youngblood, the starting safety, the strong safety for San Jose, goes down. And it'll be next man up coming in for San Jose. That's a big loss.
Yeah, you hate to see that, and hopefully he's able to get back onto the field here soon. And he's the starting free safety for San Jose. Hopefully he's not too missed out there because he's a really solid piece of their defense.
Yeah, now it'll be more on the back of Amonte Dubois-Smith to cover that backside of the field for San Jose. 1st and 10 for Boston. Split back set. West on a 2-step drop. Back to throw. Finds a target down the middle. And there might be something in that open hole now that Youngblood is down. 1st and 10 now coming up for Boston.
Yeah, if anyone is going to be able to fill that hole, it's going to be Amonte Dubois-Smith. He leads the entire league when it comes to tackles. He has the interception. He's had a huge pick six in the red zone a few weeks back. I had the pleasure of making that call. But he is outstanding on defense for these guys, one of the hallmarks of their defense, and he can fill that gap.
And then Boston exposed that hole down the middle, found Angel Maldonado. This time they're going to hand it off, but no movement from that offensive line gives an opportunity for the linebacking core for San Jose to get Lenore West behind the line.
Yeah, it's a nice stop there for San Jose, and they've done a pretty good job stopping the run thus far. Had a few that have broke off for a few extra yardage more than they'd like, but they've been pretty stout.
West back to throw here again on 3rd down. Finds a target down the middle. This would be 1st down. And then it's another injury on the play. It's another San Jose defender, Jack Big Boss, is now down on the field.
Yeah, first is Cletus Youngblood, the young cat in the secondary, and then you get your Big Boss go down. Your leader in the D-line, excuse me, and you hate to see that. And again, hopefully these impeccable doctors we have on the sidelines of these games who work their magic and get them back in the game.
And now the question moving forward, DJ, is are those injuries going to pile up and be on the wrong side defensively for San Jose? 3rd and 1 for Boston now. And hands the ball off. Wright has plenty of space and bruises his way through. No problem whatsoever for Wright to get that 1st down.
Yeah, bruises and Wright, and led the way by Cartwright through the hole, and he's a small fullback. But we've seen Cartwright have a few big games as far as rushing goes. He's a generic, but he's made his mark, and it does a good job blocking there. And Bismarck Wright, bruises his way through the hole is a perfect way to put it, Brett.
The big thing you love about the minor leagues is that, these names that you don't know get a bigger role on these teams and have a better chance to, make an impact in this minor league. West back to throw. No time on the clock for West. Great work from the defensive line. Chloe Meerkat gets the sack.
Chloe Meerkat, 6'7", 335 pounds of straight raw power. Passes through the left guard like he's not even there and brings down Dakota West for the sack. That's a huge play for the San Jose defense.
Yeah, and then in the exterior linemen, those offensive tackles did great work to stop those edge rushers, but Meerkat got on the inside, had no problem. West back to throw, steps back a little bit, finds Hightower one more time, and they will mark it 1st down. It looked to be about a yard short, but maybe a little bit forward progression gives Hightower the favorable 1st down.
Some of these guys on Boston, the receivers go, they don't get too much credit considering the immense receiver talent we have in the rest of the league. But Hightower, Friesen, Maldonado, who's recently new, a lot of those guys in that locker room and the receiving crew are really, really good, and they've shown it for this Boston squad the entire season.
Yeah, and those guys are undersized as well compared to most receivers in the league. Hightower 6'2", Friesen 6'1", Maldonado 6'1". First down, no gain for Boston. Maybe they switched up here on 2nd and 10 coming up. It is going to be split backs. Once again, we've seen this formation a few times now, DJ.
Yeah, we have.
West back to throw again on a 5-step drop. Open look, Hightower finds the pocket between the linebackers and safeties. Open look, gets Boston another first down.
I don't know if it's just me, Brett, but Dakota West is seeming so calm in the pocket. Just almost surgical and doesn't seem too panicked. You know, some decent pressure coming from San Jose and got brought down for the sack earlier, but it's like they just shook it off and they're like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to make my reads. I'm going to throw to who's open and we're going to cook.
Yeah, a little bit of a stark contrast compared to last week where it felt like West was struggling, had 4 sacks against them that past week. Handoff over to Wright. Can maybe get a yard through that. Quintana, once again, part of that tackling crew. And the linebackers for San Jose, they definitely have to be ready for those runs, especially for a bruising running back like Wright.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be tough to bring down. As they know from his runs in this game, he hasn't been easy to stop.
And tight end subs out for a wide receiver here on this split backs look back to Wright. And we'll get a little bit better work than the last play, but only a couple more. It's going to set up a 3rd and 6 for Boston.
Yeah, I mean, the playbook's still a little bit open. Probably going to expect a pass from them. It'll maybe a little bit too far to run, especially with how San Jose's defense has been.
They're going to just flip the formation here on 3rd and 6. Stay with the 3 receivers with the split backs, but they will swap Hightower on the other side. West, 5-step drop, gets a little extra space looking down the field. Had a big target. Hightower had nobody in front of him, but it goes off his wrists. It's 4th and 6.
That is tragic. That is not something you're going to see every day, especially from Hightower. He's just been so solid, has 3 touchdowns this season, has been such a reliable target for Dakota West all throughout this season, but that time maybe just felt a little bit too comfortable and just drops it.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get that from the receivers. Maybe a little bit overconfidence leads to a downfall. Now, instead of a touchdown, it's going to be a 37-yard attempt from the left hash marks. Kick is underway. It is up, and it's creeping in. It stays in. Boston to get 3 more on the board, making it 10-0 with less than a minute left in the first.
And you know, Brett, that's that scary yardage mark in the minors where you're like, okay, we don't have a contracted kicker. If we're going to risk it, there's a good chance we miss. There was a field goal in the other game tonight that they missed, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a 34-yarder with a non-contracted kicker, so that easily could have been missed. But thankfully, for Boston's sake, makes it through the uprights.
And nothing is guaranteed with special teams here in the SFLm, DJ, that's for sure. Kickoff. Back to San Jose, who are now down 10. Coduti with a nice stiff arm and has space over on the left side. Continues moving down that way, crosses midfield, and San Jose is going to reap the benefits of a Louis Coduti return to the Boston 47.
There we go. We go from such a terrible mistake on special teams to such an amazing play. What a great return from Coduti with a great stiff arm, and makes their way, scurries along the sideline to get it past the 50. Really nice return.
44 ticks left in the first quarter. San Jose want to get something out of this drive. Boston's got 10 on the board already. You need to respond in some form. It's going to be a heavy set for 1st and 10. 2 receivers to the left. They will shift Texera over to the right side to balance out the field a little bit. Play clock down to 7. White's looking through, and he will snap it off. Ant Tim has space over on the left side, and we'll get a nice chunk of yardage. 7 yards, 2nd and 3 coming up.
Yeah, a really nice way to start the drive, and that run game has been there a decent amount of the time. They've been getting pretty good yardage on it that time, a better run than most.
And it's a heavy I formation on 2nd and 3. And they will hand this one off, and man, that Boston defense was ready for that one, gave no space whatsoever to 28. It'll be 3rd and 3. That's a loss of yard.
Yeah, and doing a really good job of reading the formation that they're in and just expecting what's coming. You see them in such a I form heavy look, and you're going to expect a run, and that's exactly what they got.
End of the first quarter, and the Boston fans have something to scream about. 10-0 lead to start off for the Rebels. Can they continue this momentum into the second? We'll find out in just a few moments. And welcome back to the second quarter. 10-0 is your score in favor of the hometown Boston Rebels. I'm Brett Solberg, alongside DJ Kilgannon and producer extraordinaire Alex West, hitting the buttons from the background. It's going to be 3rd and 3 coming up for San Jose. There will be a pass attempt here from White as he slings this over to the right side and finds Rojas, but it bobbles out of his hands. That is a great job to jar that ball loose from the Cruz missile, Hudson Cruz.
Yeah, you said it earlier, Brett. The two names we had to highlight, he was one of them. And makes a huge play there to knock the ball out. If he didn't, they'd be in much better field position now, but now they're going to have to settle with a punt.
So a great kickoff return from Coduti turns into nothing from San Jose. Fair catch. Will be bobbled loose, and it will go back to San Jose. Man, special teams gaffes has hurt both teams now.
I can't believe it. It bounced off the face of the returner. Oh, my goodness.
And now San Jose with a second quarter lifeline. Can they take advantage of it at the 20? Offset running back. They are going to hand things off and will get 5 good yards from Ace Ketchum, and that's what they need to get more involved, that Ace Ketchum connection. We've seen that Tim a few times, so not enough at Ketchum.
Yeah, and not too much of it now. Oh, my goodness. What a formidable box from Boston.
Yeah, they've got 4 on the line, but it looks like they're going to approach 9 at them. So San Jose better be ready for anything that happens. Will be handed off to Tim, who's got some space over on the left side and will get past the first down marker. San Jose did great work to get that stretched run to work. 1st and goal.
Yeah, they did, and the offensive line did a great job of sealing the edge for the runner there. There was a lot of people on the outside waiting for an outside run to come, and the offensive line just completely shut them all down.
A picture-perfect stretch, you could say, for San Jose. Now it's 1st and goal inside the 9-yard line. It's going to be a handoff, and Speedy Gonzalez is going to get a nice couple yards, get this guy inside the 5, and again, opens up that playbook a little bit more, gives San Jose more options for 2nd down.
It does, and now there's just a few yardage to go. We imagine we're going to see a run here. The pass game, not too much room to work with if they want to go for it.
By formation on 2nd down, they do have 1 receiver now coming into the inside. That is Sanj Singh, so they are building that line up. It will be a fullback handoff, and the defense was ready for it. Gonzalez had no chance. It looks to be landing on him with the tackle.
Yeah, I don't hate that one there, and just completely shot the gap and completely bottled that one up. Not much at all, and now they're in a much more open formation.
3rd and goal. They got 2 receivers, and it will be a toss over, and it will be caught. Louis Coduti with just enough space puts 6 on the board for San Jose.
It's up to 6 for Coduti, and I love the physical route. Tried to press was the corner and just hands to the face, break inside and make the huge catch. Able to get 7 on the board.
And you got to love the two top receivers for San Jose, Rojas and Coduti on the same side. It had Boston guessing where that target was going. Extra point is up and good. Now San Jose up in the board. 10-7 is your matchup. Just a 3-point game. 7.5 minutes left in the second.
Well, we had the punt fumble on the first drive that led to a touchdown. And now we have another punt fumble that leads to a touchdown. So it's starting to look a little mirror image right now.
And now can Boston respond in kind instead of punting this football away? Hightower gets a decent return at the 32-yard line, and back comes the West-led offense. And let's see what they bring to the table.
Yeah, and just got to keep your foot on the gas against San Jose. You know, Boston, they have 2 wins, and both of them being against Philadelphia. They haven't been able to beat the top 2 teams in the league at all this season, and right now I'm sure they're itching to do anything to help them continue their performance right now. And keeping your foot on the gas, continuing to score some points is best.
Yeah, we're talking about the bottom two teams in scoring in the SFLm, but San Jose has turned up the heat as of recently. West throws intercepted, and this will go right to the end zone. Dustin Sokasi, 6 on the board for San Jose.
Oh my goodness. Talk about a shift in the momentum. Sakashi stabs a dagger into the heart of Boston, I should say. Reads the eyes of the quarterback to perfection. Maldonado tried to run the out route and just got jumped. That's all there is to it, and there was nothing but green grass.
And sometimes that could be one of the downfalls of being a 6'8" quarterback. They see your head first before anyone else's. And sometimes you can read it like a book. Sometimes you can read it like a dictionary. It's tough for them. Extra point again, up and good for San Jose. And a minute ago, we were talking about a 10-0 game. Forget that. 14-10. San Jose on top for the first time in this game.
Yeah, and what a quick change it was. I mean, they scored two touchdowns in the span of what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? I mean, my goodness.
This feels less than, but Boston will get this baby back. And Hightower again has decent blocking over on the side and gets to the 40, has space over on the left side, gets a little more extra, tries to get to the 40, but it's going to be just a little bit shy. One tackler gets to him, and it'll start at the 41-yard line. This is another great special teams return, almost a tale of two special teams.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this might be the most bipolar special teams game I've ever seen. Both teams with a fumble that lead to a touchdown for the other, and two amazing returns for those teams. I mean, it's just so bipolar right now.
Yeah, and very quickly, DJ, let's get through this defense for San Jose while they're out on the field now. Defensive tackles, Jack Big Boss currently injured, along with Chloe Meerkat, Enzer, Peter Merck, and Harley Wilson. Linebackers, Luis Cantata, Frodo Leggins, and Bobby Green. Corners, we talked about them, Stephen Goodman and Dustin Sokasi. And then free safeties, Cletus Youngblood, currently injured, and Amonte Dubois-Smith, as that run for Bismarck Wright is just a little short. 1 yard gain. Quintana once again involved in the tackle.
Yeah, and blew that one up. And Quintana has been just a sheriff in the middle of this defense for San Jose when it comes to the linebacker core. Does a really good job of calling things when they need to be called and controlling.
West back to throw once again, finds the target. Almost looked like it was intercepted, but still manages to find the hands of Maldonado, and it looks to be about a yard to go.
Yeah, absolutely. That one was really, really close, but Maldonado was able to fight through the double coverage and make a really nice catch.
They will give for a progression here, DJ, so check that. It'll be 1st and 10 now. It'll be a fresh set of downs for Boston. Got an offset halfback over on the left side of West. They will try to find that swing pass, maybe a little bit too late to Kleinknecht, which only results in a 1 yard gain, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and they had two flat routes to that left side. It had Kleinknecht on that more outward fade, like a little flat, and then they had the little hitch to the left side as well, and kind of brought too many eyes to that side, I think, and both got bottled up pretty quickly.
I think also starting on the left hash gives it a little bit less space if you're heading that way too. Absolutely. Handoff this time to Wright, and he will try to bruise his way forward again. He will get a couple. I'll mark him for about 4 yards. 3rd and 5 now for Boston.
Yeah, now your playbook's pretty much well open to whatever you want to do, and they're right at about that mark of scary field goal range. So, I mean, you got to try and get the first here, of course, but, I mean, I guess it's just up to what you think will work.
They will go split backs once again. It's been more of their favorite formation. West will find a target down the right side and will cross the end zone. What a catch and run from Curtis Friesen. First catch of the game results in 6 on the board for Boston.
Captain Cold showing up right when he needs to. Ice in his veins, Brett. Makes the catch right in the face of the defender and charges across the goal line. That is 6 for Boston.
And yeah, you can see Dustin Sokasi wanted that interception and was ready to run that down for another pick 6, but was just a tad too early. And now Boston reclaiming the lead here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and you can see it in the chat. I feel another takeaway TD. Maybe not me, but someone. That was trying to jinx him a little bit there. But, man, what a back-and-forth matchup we're having. It's like the best back-and-forth boxing match I've ever seen.
And that's what you need sometimes out of football games. Sometimes back and forth gets you that coveted, hashtag ESPN Classics moment.
Oh, yeah.
Kickoff, return to Kodudi about the 5, has some decent space,
Oh,
crosses
goodness.
the 30, finds space over to the right, but will get stopped at the 37-yard line. That's another kickoff return from Kodudi that looked threatening.
Yeah, and it's the battle of 13s on special teams right now. Joey Hightower and Luis Caduti just returning everything, it seems, to the 40 or just about.
And it's going to be a story of who breaks through first, it feels like, with the special teams.
Yeah.
Very quickly, let's go through the Rebels defense. May West landed on him. Baron Went and Moss Booker are your linemen. Linebackers, going to be Morgan Brown, William Patterson, and Duncan Onham. Corners, we talked about Hudson Cruz and Jimmy Hatsis already. Safety, Scotty Kilgannon, the newest signing, and Dantes Talacarne. Task down the middle finds Rojas, and that is something that San Jose has desperately needed to find in this first half. Finally gets a deep target to Rojas.
Absolutely, and yeah, about time. The big play capability is there, and Rojas just split the safeties right up the middle, and Brady White fired it exactly where it needed to be. Got caught, got hit by both safeties. That's just picture perfect.
Yeah, and White just at 31 yards here in this first half. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities to get that football down. And now another pass attempt coming from White down the middle again. Tries to find Kodudi. Had open space, but a wayside tackler spears him down the gut. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Hudson Cruz in cruise control with that big tackle and makes another big pass. Pass breakup right as the ball's getting to the catcher.
Yeah, Boston Rebels, team of nicknames. We've talked about Showtime. We talked about Cruise Control. You talked about Captain Cold. What else do you have on the table there for Boston? Handoff. This time it's going to be to Ketchum. Or sorry, this is Gonzalez. Check that. And we'll get a couple yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 coming up for San Jose.
Yeah, you got the black sheep on the other side, Stephen Goodman. I mean, I'm sure we could think of some other great ones, but if we go down that rabbit hole, I don't think we'll ever talk about the game.
Yeah, exactly. We got Trips bunch over to the right side on 3rd and down and 7. I need to keep track of these downs here. White back to throw. He's got some space, finds his target, but Kodudi might have tried to go a little bit too pretty. That almost looked like a one-handed attempt, and it goes wayside, 4th down.
Yeah, and that's another drop from another number 13 in decently open space. Kodudi, I mean, there was defenders there, maybe heard the footsteps coming. Like you said, looked like an attempted one-handed and just slipped right through.
Now San Jose will have to punt the football. First time we've seen a punt in a little while here, DJ.
Yep.
And this one will be fair caught, and again gets bobbled, but Hightower finds a way to nab it, and we'll get a couple extra yards. So Boston avoiding danger once again, and we'll have the football at the 21.
You see him stick his hands up above his head to try and catch the punt. That's just, I can't advise that. You got to let it fall into the breadbasket.
And if I'm the coaching staff for Boston, I probably already had my 2nd heart attack of the game.
That's no joke.
Ace formation I on 1st down for Boston. Will be a fullback handoff to Bismarck Wright, his more natural position over in Arizona, and will inch forward for a yard, 2nd and 9.
I'm really liking the fullback runs so far. I mean, more often than not, Bismarck is getting the runs from that, farther back halfback spot, and he's getting a lot more yardage than he usually does, and he's been putting on a pretty nice running performance so far.
West with a 7-step drop, tries to find and will connect with their target. Good look to Friesen again, and it'll be a big 1st down for Boston.
There he goes, making the great catch in traffic and taking a shoulder to the stomach right as he catches it and still holds on. Doesn't matter, doesn't faze him. Getting a huge gain there for Friesen.
And Friesen just broke open just enough past Sokasi to get that look from West. And that's a big gain for Boston. 1st and 10 now at the 47. There will be a handoff, and that's a good look. 7-yard gain from that look. Lenore West had plenty of space to run down that field.
Yeah, that was the best blocking performance from these guys all night. Gave so much room for Lenore West to make it through the gap. And, Boston's offensive line, they don't got talked about too much. Demon Pickle, Portia Henson on the O-line, and arguably one of the most coveted rookie players in this class, Oliver Tarask, who is a monster on the offensive line.
Yeah, and Portia Henson has done some great work with Baltimore this season,
Yeah.
getting some extra reps here. There's going to be another handoff. This time there isn't as much space, but it'll still be a decent 2-yard gain from Jacob Brewer. Sets up 3rd and 1.
You know, I had the chance to talk with Brady White before the game, and he talked about how last week's performance was just bad. You know, record for interceptions, 4 pick sixes. You called that one. You know how bad it was. And he just got to bounce back. He even talked about how important it's going to be for the defense to have a huge part in getting this win.
Yeah, and defense definitely has to start worrying about Bismarck Wright, especially if he gets those big gains on 3rd and 1, because he can be dangerous if left alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I mean, we saw the big plays from the defense. They're there. They're happening. We saw the huge pick six. I mean, the special teams hiccups from Boston. I mean, they're doing their part.
So we split backs, and it will be another handoff to Wright, who's got space and will inch his way forward for another 1st down. Bismarck Wright is starting to heat up here in the 2nd.
Absolutely is, and there's another run from that halfback spot for him, and just, I mean, I think it's just giving him a little bit more room to build up that head of steam.
2 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Boston looking to move down the field. It's a close and tight matchup here in Massachusetts. 120 ticks left to go in the 1st half. I'm Brett Solberg along with DJ Kilgannon. Boston threatening here on 1st and 10 at the 25. Will be a delayed handoff to Brewer this time to get 3 yards. And Boston right now is really starting to favor the run game on this drive.
Yeah, they absolutely have. And shouts to them because it's working pretty well whenever they do it and set up a good spot for it. Now you got the tiny little fullback back there. You can see him.
Yeah, even at 6 feet tall, Bismarck Wright looks like a giant in front of that fullback. Quick throw to right down the middle of the field. Good connection from West to Kleinecht. 1st and goal.
It's pretty odd seeing a 5'7" fullback blocking for Bismarck Wright, but it's all a diversion, clearly. Throwing it over the middle to Kleinecht for a huge gain.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't see those passes out of that I formation, so it's good to see that every now and again, kind of sprinkle a little bit of misdirect. But 1st and goal now at the 8-yard line, back to their favorite split back formation. And they're going to shift Friesen over to the left side, make that a little bit of an overload. Handoff down to Wright, and he's looking to get some space. If he would have gotten past that one tackler, that probably would have been a touchdown. Timeout is called.
Yeah, it would have. And you said it yourself. They're just running the ball a lot more, and it's just working so well. Bismarck Wright getting the majority of the load. He hasn't, been the hallmark back in Boston. He's been playing behind Lenore West a lot, but right now he's getting his time to shine.
It'll be a single back 2 receiver formation here on this 2nd down. It will be West back to throw, but no time was given for West to look through. Peter Merck squeezes by the line, gets the sack.
Yeah, the only returning rookie on this defensive line makes a huge play. And now with that sack, I imagine it basically shuts out the running game for Boston. You're going to have to rely on a pass right now if you want the touchdown.
More of the athletic defensive ends in the league, 6'4", 265. Finds a way to get to West. 3rd and goal, back at the 8. And will go back to throw. Tries to find one of the tight ends. It looked to be Kleinecht once again, but that one was in a tighter window, and it falls incomplete. 4th down.
Yeah, that one just completely bottled up, and not a whole lot of room there. And I'm sure that sack kind of completely just ruined the plans of Boston. They had been running really well, and once they were out of range for that run, kind of probably messed up their groove a little bit, but now they're at least going to get the field goal if they make it.
Boston will extend this game to a 20-14 6-point lead after 12 plays, 70 yards, and stuffed inside the 10-yard line. 6-point advantage now for Boston. 46 ticks left to go in the half.
Yeah. And this game with the playoff implications it has, San Jose, really not much that they are playing for. I mean, other than for continuing to win. But Boston, they have a chance to push up to the 3 seed.
And a win here for Boston will definitely set things in momentum for them, because then they will get themselves to 3-6. Philadelphia went down to 3-7 earlier tonight, so there's an opportunity for Boston to get that 3 seed and try to hold on to it as we get to the playoffs. Now with 42 seconds to go, if you're San Jose, do you run the clock out, get to the second half, or do you try to make use of what you have here? All 3 timeouts still.
If it's me, I got the gambler's mindset. I go for it, and they clearly agree with me.
Yeah, they're going 4 receivers. They do have a tight end over on the right side as well for first down. White back to throw, looking deep, looks for that tight end in Smith, and just couldn't handle the ball. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
That's like the 5th time Hudson Cruz has just cruised in and made a hit right as the ball has got there. He is just playing like a ball hawk right now, hitting people right when he needs to not get a penalty, but to knock the ball out. He's just playing phenomenally.
If Hudson Cruz guarded Yayo Montana, would that be a Cuban Missile Crisis? Anyways, that's a handoff for Aunt Tim. Nets 5 yards, and maybe that pass was just to see if they could get themselves forward quick. And they're going to go with the handoff, and they look content to tick this clock off.
Yeah, it looks like we might just see one more and then maybe take it into the half if you're San Jose. I don't hate it.
This could be the final play of the half as White steps back to throw, looks for a target open. Victor Rojas, but will only get to about the 35. They're not going to call any of their timeouts, so that looks to be it for the first half, DJ. 6-point advantage for Boston in this first half. 20-14 is your score.
Yeah, and just such a tough battle so far. We've been really back and forth, and from a team that their run game really hasn't picked it up too much this season, Boston's run game is looking really good.
Yeah, that's the big key here. Boston maybe separating themselves from San Jose because of that run game, and that's why you see them with more red zone opportunities in this first half than the other one. But aside from that, let's talk about the special teams for both these squads as well, as they've both had some problems with handling the football.
Yeah, had some fumbles, and we saw the bobble that got it's just been so lackluster. It's almost like the punt returns have been terrible, but the kick returns have been amazing.
Yeah, and that's what's the weird thing. You don't normally see that, when you get to the big time, you don't see those gaffes happen, but we've seen it twice already in this first half. They're going to give Curtis Frieston the first half player of the game with his 51 yards and the touchdown that got things going for Boston. And we're going to get right into this, DJ. Second half action just coming to you in a little bit here. If I'm San Jose, what do you adjust in terms of offensively if you're looking at the flight?
Maybe just pack the box a wee bit more. They have some really solid pieces on the line that help stop the run. You got Quintana, you got Laggins, you got Bobby Green, but maybe just bring a few more bodies in there.
And injury updates, both Jack Big Boss and Cletus Youngblood it looks like the torn bicep. For most people, they'd be out in that game, but they're saying doubtful for Youngblood, but it is pulled stomach muscles for Jack Big Boss, and he will be done for the game here. That's a major loss for the interior line.
Yeah, this is Youngblood's first game. I can only imagine how badly he wants to go back on the field. His arm could be off, and he'd be like, "Coach, I'm fine. Put me back in."
Yeah, you can be missing both arms, and he still will try to catch the football with his mouth. That's the dedication you make in your debut SFLm game, that's for sure. But San Jose is going to get this ball to start off the second half. They will start off with the first third quarter drive. And we are underway once again here in Boston. Coduti with the return at the 5-yard line. Again, great space from this special teams crew to get it past the 30. They'll get it marked at the 30 with 33-yard line. And Brady White, not a big performance in the first half. Do we see more passes coming along his way?
Yeah, it just seems like Boston is really preparing for that pass game. If I'm not mistaken, the stat we saw was 5 for 11 for him on the half. And it just seems like they're really well prepared for it. He knows he can do better than he has been the last 2 weeks. And I imagine, he, of course, wants to keep swinging the rock, but I guess it's just up to that coaching staff and what they think.
Yeah, maybe San Jose was thinking the run game one might help them a little bit, but right now it hasn't. First down handoff is going to be to Gonzalez, who will get 3 yards. And that seems to be the story for San Jose throughout this game. It's been 3 yards. They'll get a chunk here and there, but it hasn't been major plays from the run team.
Yeah, I think that answers our question. They come out of the box running, and now they have another pretty strong look.
Another I formation here on 2nd and 7. It will be a handoff. This time it's going to be to Ketchum, but the linebacking core, that was William Patterson with that last hit, but all the linebackers for that Boston linebacking core found out where the run was going to be, 3rd and 6.
Yeah, just blew that one up, and now I imagine if you're the flight, you got to pass this one, and you got 4 receivers to do it.
4 receivers and maybe that running back to help block with White. Rojas is going to shift over to the left. A little bit of an overload there on 3rd and 6. White back to throw. Will go to his dump off option. Looks like nobody was down deep for him to be confident enough to sling that rock, and they're going to settle for a 4th down.
Yeah, and Patterson blew that one up again, and he just read that one to perfection, got in there quick and made a play, and now we're going to see San Jose punt it again. Now let's pray. Let's cross our fingers. Everyone in, Boston, I'm sure is. Let's see if we can safely catch the punt.
Will be caught by Hightower, who will get a couple extra yards and stay on his feet. And needs the punter to get him down, but Boston will start things over at the 32-yard line. And we're talking about an offense from Boston that has looked really sharp so far. Dakota West with 150 yards in the first half.
Yeah, they're just looking really, really good. Just we talked about how calm they're being in the pocket right now, and you just continue firing it to your receivers when they're open. Don't make too many ill-advised throws and keep those turnovers to a minimum.
Going back to the very favorite split back formation here on 1st down. It will be a handoff to Bismarck Wright, who finds the space and uses his strength to push forward for 4 yards.
Yeah, and that's that magic number, 4 yards every play. You'll stay ahead of the chains. That's what they say. And starting off with it is good. It just opens up your playbook a good amount. You can really choose from whatever repertoire of plays you can think of.
West back to throw here on 2nd. And we'll try to find a tight window target once again. This time it was aimed for Django West, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, that time just probably the most ill-advised throw West has thrown besides the pick 6. I mean, just really tight coverage there, and tried to catch it falling. It was just a jumbled mess over there, and that one falls incomplete pretty heavily.
3rd and 6. They got the bunch formation over on the left side. It will be a rollout opposite for West. Slings it to the left. Finds Hightower, but can't manage to hold on to it after a big hit from the secondary. 4th down for Boston.
And both of these defenses just playing really tough, hard hitting right now. And 2 drives down in the start of this half, nothing to spell for the offenses. But now San Jose is going to get the ball back.
It's a good undercut hit from Dubois Smith that jarred the ball loose. And San Jose will fair catch this at the 27-yard line.
Oh, no.
And another injury on the special teams unit. This time it's going to be one of the reserve linebackers, Jesse Armstead, that goes down.
That's just so many injuries in this one. These guys are still young, probably haven't got to build up their, the injury.
Durability?
Durability, thank you. It's been a long day.
I bet it is. I mean, you just called the game earlier. That probably missed a good one out of there. But I think we got a good one here tonight. 6-point advantage for Boston, but San Jose has the football here at the 27-yard line. Toss play over to Ketchum, and the linebackers once again figuring out where the running backs are going to go. That's a loss of 1.
Yeah, just blew that one up. And Boston, these linebackers, and really just everyone on this squad is doing such a good job of getting every head to the football.
Now decision-making time here for 2nd and long. It will be a quick handoff to Tim, who won't get any further in. Again, this time Hatsis with the run support, 3rd and 12.
Yeah, and Hatsis just read that one like a book, blew it up behind the line, and now gonna have to rely on the pass.
They're going to go 3 receivers on third down and to the left. White back to throw, a screen pass to catch him, has space, needs that critical block, gets it, has space down midfield and will get decent chunk of yardage past midfield. What a great screen pass to Ace Ketchum.
Yeah, what a risky play call, but it worked so well. All the defenders for Boston, I mean, understandably so, are expecting a deep pass. They send out all their linemen, throw it to Ketchum, and just let him work.
It was just great. It was great blocking from that initial line as well to get Ketchum that space to even move forward yardage, and then they got that critical block near the first down marker to get Ketchum that first down. And now at the midfield hash is San Jose. It will be White back to throw again. Time running out. We'll just sling that baby over, and it does get a little bit of a hot potato bobble, but it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, trying to find Kadudi there in that just jumbled mess of red and white jerseys, and is only able to find the hand of Jimmy Hatsis before that one falls incomplete.
And it's always not great when you throw off your back foot and you're throwing backwards as well.
He loves doing that pass, I'll tell you.
4 receivers out for 2nd and 10. It will be a quick step drop for White, looking looked to be Parker down the middle, but overthrew his man by a decent yard or 2. Another incompletion forces 3rd and 10.
Yeah, threw it over the head of them enough to just find the hands of the, over the top safety, not able to hold on to it, but I mean, making it 3rd and long again for this, for this flight offense.
Going to bunch up the receivers on the left again for 3rd down. I've seen this a couple times in this drive for San Jose. White back to throw, looking for that side, finds Rojas and has space over the left side, trying to be a defender, but Hatsis gets the shoestring tackle and stops Rojas inside the 10-yard line.
Oh, that one just broke away from the pack and was able to just burn him. And thankfully, it was for Jimmy Hatsis able to chase him down and make the play. There's 2 defenders there trying to chase him down, and thankfully for them, saved the score.
And him 41 yards on that catch and run from Rojas sets up San Jose inside the 9-yard line. It is a heavy set to the right of the San Jose line. It will be Antim down the middle and gets the space to cross the goal line. 6 on the board for San Jose. Touchdown on Tim.
Yeah, and the running game didn't work too much, but finally they get enough room from the offensive line to just bust one right up the middle, and Tim makes it through the front 7 completely untouched and finally gets met by a safety, but too little too late, crosses the goal line.
Yeah, Scotty Kilgannon a little bit too late on that. Maybe a second sooner could have stopped them, but like you said, too little too late. And now we're just waiting for the extra point, and San Jose will be 1 point ahead if they can make it. It is up, and it is good. Another lead change in this contest. I believe it's the 3rd lead change of the game. DJ, 21-20, San Jose currently on top.
Yeah, and that drive, it felt so much longer than it was. Like I looked up at the clock expecting maybe the 3rd quarter to be rolling close to the finish, but just under 6 minutes.
Kickoff return inside the 5 once again. Hightower looking to get some space, but doesn't get the same fortune that he had earlier in this game. He stopped at the 31-yard line. Now back to Boston. You just got scored against, and you gave up the lead once again. What would be the game plan if you're Dakota West?
Just, their offense has been really solid. I mean, you've been running good. You've been passing good. I think maybe rely on the run game a little bit more. Go maybe back to some of those formations and packages you were using in the first half that were making your run so successful.
Such as this 3-receiver split back formation. We saw this a lot in the first quarter. There will be a handoff inside to right, who's trying to bust through the initial line of contact, but can't get through. Dubois Smith on the run support, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and showing why he leads the lead in tackles right there, Brett. Shoots the gap so well, great in coverage. Just one of the best all-around defenders in the SFLm.
Same formation here for 2nd down. This time it's going to be a pass. Finds their target down the middle. That is a good look to get a first down for Boston.
Now threw that one to 86 right over the middle, able to find some space and get a bunch of yards after the catch. Dewball Smith again chasing him down for the tackle, and now Boston charging along, getting himself a first down.
Sometimes if you can find those small enough pockets where you're confident enough to sling that ball, you'll get those catches. Now at 161 yards, 12 of 17 for Dakota West. Very efficient game so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
They stick to the same formation here. This is the third time they've run that 3-receiver split backs as Lenore West tries to get some space over the left side, gains 4, and that's the magic number you need to keep moving forward.
It is, and that was just such a mess of a run, it seemed, from the start. But Lenore West, to her fortune, was able to bounce it to the outside and find some more space.
And they're going to go more of a traditional I here on second down, and that is blown up right away. Luis Quintana says no chance to Bismarck Wright.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what he does. He's such a smart backer, does a really good job of reading the run, and he's going to adjust to the common, themes of offenses and be able to adjust like he just did.
Roll out here for third down. West looking down the middle, trying to find one of the top receivers in this game in Maldonado as of recently, but can't find him. It's 4th and 7.
Yeah, just able to get a hand on it. Just too many defenders in the area. And again, I mean, we haven't seen too many ill-advised throws from Dakota West, but that certainly was one of them.
And a bunch of basically covered with a bunch of jerseys and almost hoping that a catch was going to land, but it just didn't. It didn't work out, and now Boston's going to have to punt this football away. It will be recovered by Parker, and he will get it up to the 26-yard line. Now with San Jose in the lead, I'd have to think they're not satisfied with just a 1-point lead.
Yeah, I'd imagine not. I mean, these guys are certainly going to keep their feet on the gas. They're going to try and score as many points as possible. They're going to keep the foot on the neck of Boston and just continue to do what they've been doing. And now that they've got the lead, they want to hold on to it.
2-receiver I formation here on first down for San Jose. It will be a handoff to Ketchum, who will get some space and get a nice chunk of 4 yards to make it 2nd and 6. Hey, DJ, how many likes do we have on this video?
Nowhere near enough, Brett.
Yeah, it's true. It's not enough. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you've got notifications on so you don't miss a minute of SFL and SFLm action and help the channel grow through your support. White back to throw here, and it will be caught by Rojas, who has space down the middle to cross the first down marker, and that is what San Jose likes to do in these scenarios, get the first downs.
Yeah, and Victor just finding open space, and you talked about it earlier, finding that open space and throwing to it. It's just such a theme for a lot of offenses, and these guys especially. Rojas is so good at finding empty space in defenses.
And he's done it a lot this season. It's going to be another potential game of 100+ yards or more. Tim, with the handoff, will get 3 on that first down run. It'll be 2nd and 7 coming up for San Jose.
Yeah, and with the performance he's had, pushing him above 1,000, he's one of 2 receivers to push above 1,000 this season in the SFLm.
And you could probably guess who the other one is.
Yeah, just a random guess. You might get it.
Yeah, it's probably New York's Michael Goodman, or sorry, Steve. Or is it Michael Goodman? There's so many Goodmans in this league. Yeah,
Michael Goodman. 3. Yeah,
yeah. Three is about 3 too many in my head apparently. Ketchum, nice run, gets to midfield, and it will set up a first down for San Jose. And we're talking about a league that has a lot of the same names. We got to talk about Boston as well, because I believe they have 3 Wests in their roster as well.
Yeah, there's I think 4. I mean, they got Django, Lenore, Dakota. No, you were right. Yeah. Oh, May.
Oh, and May West. Yeah, and then we can't forget about that unspoken child of the West family, East. No one talks about East West in the West family.
You don't talk about East. No, you don't. You got the Goodmans, you got the trio, but Stephen Goodman, of course, the black sheep.
Oh, boy, that was deflected. They're going to call that a fumble, maybe a backward pass, and Boston has the football. Barron went with the recovery.
Oh, man, that one surprised me. It looked like a pass forward. I guess we'll get a better look. Oh, I don't know.
He looked to go for the swing pass, and it looks like it goes off the noggin of the guy trying to sack him.
I'm sure we'll see a challenge.
And this
What
would
do I
usually be
know?
the time for a challenge, but San Jose electing not to call it. So Boston has the football at the 32.
Wow. I mean, that was shocking, really.
Bismarck Wright with another big run to keep that momentum going for Boston. 8 yards, sets up a 2nd and 2.
Oh, and then the Onims, how can we forget them? Landon and Duncan, they're playing in this game. There's so many, my gosh.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of families here, man, in this minor league, and that's a good thing to see. West with a handoff to West. That's the west-to-west connection. We talk about G2G over in New York, Goodman to Goodman, but you can't forget about that handoff connection west to west.
You got dub to dub. And, you know, my personal favorite family of last names in the SFLm is new free safety for Boston, Scotty Kilgannon. I've heard that guy's a stud.
I
I've heard he
wonder
is a
why.
stud.
I wonder why, analyst DJ Kilgannon. Handoff to Bismarck Wright, another 8 yards, and this is what you sign him up for. Get those bruising runs, get a big 8.
Yeah, really tough run there. Busting through the line in such a big hole. You could have drove a limousine through that hole.
I mean, you're not wrong with that. I was just thinking how wide a limousine can be sometimes, but there was the width to clear that, no problem.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
2nd and 2, they're inside the 10. This Boston offense, they have cruised through after this fumble. They have not looked backwards at all. Another handoff to Wright, and they will get stuffed, but he will gain a yard out of it. Quintana with another tackle for the San Jose linebacking defense.
Yeah, and it's short downage, and last time we had one of these short downage scenarios for Boston and talked how good their run game was in these scenarios, it got bottled up, and seems like they're expecting it on San Jose's side.
Big test for the flight defense on 3rd and 1. They don't want Boston to move any further. Under 10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Wright bruises way forward and continues to push. That is what Arizona signs him for. That is what Boston keeps him for. 6 on the board for the Rebels.
That tough physical running that Bismarck Wright brings to any squad he's on. Let's get a better look at it. There's a jumble of them. 1, 2, 3, and he humbles a man and crosses the goal line. What a run.
Sometimes if you're a new running back in this league, you're almost envious of the ability that someone like Bismarck Wright has. He's definitely, not a rookie in this league. He's had a couple seasons under his belt in the major leagues with Arizona, but has not shown enough, even to Eddie Gage's liking, to get to that books. And that is what you can get out of a big run from Bismarck Wright. Boston retakes the lead once again. Another lead change in this contest.
God, was that the 4th?
4th or 5th at this point, now that I'm thinking about it.
Now let's see one of these another monstrous kick returns to start off the drive.
And speak it into existence, shall it appear? Koduni trying to stiff arm the first man, but doesn't get to it. So Scotty Kilgannon will get the stop at the 32, and that is how we're going to end this 3rd quarter, DJ. Boston retaking the lead, but this is a up and down affair. 27-21 after 3. Put your 4s up in the chat. It's Timu Chad rolling alongside Timu, whoever you can think of. It's DJ Kilgannon alongside with me here. Start of 4th quarter action. San Jose looking to retake the lead, and they start off at the 32-yard line in their drive. It'll be a toss play to Ace Ketchum, who will bruise forward for 3 yards, and that was a tough 3 yards to gain for Ace.
I like to think Timu Tyler Falk, because I'm not as good as him by any means, but I think I yell almost just as much.
I mean, anyone could be a Timu Tyler Falk in the broadcast booth. So let's no, I'm not going to say take it down a notch. Let's go with Timu Tyler Falk. Another handoff, this time to Aunt Tim. Plenty of space. We've seen that a couple times now, that they're giving space for Aunt Tim, and they've been getting first downs out of it.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line for you see the 2 blocks putting the defenders on their back again, and just gives so much room to run. And I mean, at that point, it just comes to trying to get past the linebackers.
And again, you're looking at getting past those linebackers. Those are going to be major gains for any offense. Be White back to throw, and will find Coduti down the middle, and that was a nice crossing route. You had two receivers in the crossing route area, and a medium and a deep route, and White decides to go with the open Coduti. First down.
Yeah, again, looking for open space over the middle. We've seen it so much, Brett, from these guys. And, usually it's Rojas we're talking about in those empty spaces. But Coduti, I mean, just as versatile in this offense. I mean, those two are just a pairing that any defense is going to worry about.
Brady White's been a lot more conservative here tonight compared to last week. Hasn't passed a lot in comparison, but he has played efficient, and that's what matters here if you're a quarterback. White back to throw once again, looking to find a target, and that is off the handle of Aiden Texera. That's his first target in a little while here. Maybe jittery hands forced the incomplete pass.
Yeah, definitely could have been. And, Brady White just got to keep finding those open guys. I mean, they're targeting the middle of the field a lot. Trying to maybe hope that Boston's linebackers focus on the run a little bit too much, because they've been dominant when it comes to stopping the run, these Boston linebackers.
Coduti moving over to the left side to balance the formation on 2nd and 10. White is back to throw once again, looking deep, and will find Rojas from right to left, finding him on the left side. And that's another big catch, and that is what we know and love from Victor Rojas.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, finding space, getting hit right as he gets the ball, and able to hang on to it.
And that's big, especially if you're looking for a wide receiver to add into your fold. If you're a major league team, you want to have guys that have the ability to secure the ball after a catch and a hit. High formation on 1st and 10. It will be a handoff to Gonzalez, but doesn't get a lot of space. The line did really well to get that stop. I believe that is landing on him with the hit.
Yeah, him or Barron, I'm not sure. It was just a jumble. It's just barreled into the runner so fast, I couldn't even tell.
Yeah. Again, another part of that underrated Boston defense is that interior line. Yep. Landing on him, Barron Went, Moss Booker. Those are guys that could be dangerous, if not now, but in the near future. White back to throw here on 2nd down, trying to get extra space. Slings it off before he gets hit, but Coduti had to reach so high and couldn't manage to secure that ball. It's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, we've seen so many of those catches right as they get hit, but that time just looking like Jumpman. Had to pull out the max vertical there to even get a finger on it, and Dondis Talacarne just completely leveled Coduti right as the ball got there.
Bunch on the left side here for 3rd and 9. And it will be a pass. White back to throw, finds a target. It's Rojas once again. And this is what San Jose does in the 4th quarter. They kind of limit it to just one target. Rojas with another catch.
Yeah, again, finding space over the middle. I mean, it's so common with these guys. I mean, we know they're going to do it. They're going to look for the over the middle space, and it's just level concept. Having a short route, having an over the top route, and just seeing which one the linebacker doesn't cover and firing it to that one.
You got to love those levels. White back to throw once again. Finds, looks to be Smith over on the left side, trying to inch his way forward, but only manages to get to the 2-yard line. But that's going to help a San Jose offense that can open up that playbook, especially that they're more conservative with their play calling.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if they have to rely on the run a little bit more, Boston, I mean, surely expecting it, has been able to bottle it up pretty well all night.
Big 2nd and goal for both these teams. More importantly for San Jose, looking to reclaim the lead again. Handoff doesn't get through. That one is a tough run that Ketchum couldn't get past. 3rd and goal inside the 2.
And it's still got a little bit of yardage, but Morgan Brown shut that one down and making it, just like maybe a 1 1/4 yard to go for San Jose.
They're about a chest hair away from the 1 here on 3rd and goal. They'll shift the fullback to an offset. There will be one more handoff, and Tim stretches to the left, wide open space, and San Jose once again puts 6 on the board and is an extra point away from reclaiming the lead.
I love the decision to shift out the fullback, give him a little bit more advantage on the run. And I mean, Victor Rojas laid an amazing block. Speedy Gonzalez went out to find another block, but there was no one there else to block. I mean, just untouched into the end zone, not even a soul in sight.
And a lot of the time you see these teams run to the inside, but that outside run, heavily underrated in both leagues. Extra point up and good. San Jose back to their 1-point lead after a masterful 11 play near 4-minute drive.
Now we're going to need another, it's another, change of scoring advantage, I should say. Another lead change. That's the words I was looking for. Just
another lead change, and this is setting up to be a great finale coming up as Hightower splits through a tackler past the 40, gets to midfield, and will stop himself out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Joey Hightower has done great work on the kickoff returns.
Yep, I was waiting for another one of those to break away. There was a few kick returns where nothing too crazy happened, but just barreled through a defender of San Jose there and just tight roped across the sideline to get to the other 45, and just what a way to start.
And that's definitely what you want to do when the time is starting to tick against you. Now less than 6 minutes to go in this game. It is a 1-point contest, so you can still retake the lead with a field goal, but the name of the game in the SFLm are touchdowns, and they want to grab one. They're going to shift one of their tight ends, Klein necked over to the right side. The play clock's down to 5. Got a set. Play clock down to 2, and they will get this off. And right, again, plenty of space forward. And another player is down, and it's going to be the other safety on that backside, Amonte Dubois-Smith. The 4th injury in this game, DJ.
That is tragic. You hate to see anyone go down, but that one, arguably the most impactful now. And San Jose's defense, they still look solid, but that is their leader on the defensive side of the ball.
And it's both safeties down. We still have no sign of Cletus Youngblood yet on that free safety side. And now it's going to be Boston's decision whether they want to take advantage of both those safeties being out. 2nd and 3. They're going to hand this one off and get plenty of space. Lenore West has good speed to push forward and move the chains here on 2nd down.
Yeah, and had so much room to run as well. Really nice block out there from Bismarck Wright. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. And finally got chased down from Frodo Laggins.
And now if you're thinking from San Jose's side, with both those safeties out, linebackers almost have to play 2 roles at once now.
Yep, absolutely.
Split backs on 1st and 10. They've got 2 tight ends. It's that ace formation that they love to work on with split back. There's going to be another handoff, this time to that 5'7" fullback.
Yep.
And Cartwright will get himself 8 yards. And man, everything's starting to roll for this Boston run game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, everyone can do it. Getting Cartwright involved too, and now he is there in the tight end spot again.
Man, he sticks out like a sore thumb.
He really does
on that line.
He's got like heart.
You've got a big meaty man right beside him, and then you've got like dinky 5'7" Cartwright. But
he's out there blocking.
And that's a good block from Cartwright as well to give Lenore West just enough for the 1st down. And man, that could be one of your highlight plays if you're Cartwright and you're looking to get yourself on a roster.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a touchdown, if not last week, the week before. I mean, he's becoming synonymous with these guys.
Another set of downs to reset for Boston. Another handoff to Bismarck Wright, who has to be Boston's player of the game so far. He has just bruised his way for big gains.
Yeah, getting up to 90 and longest of 10. Just such tough running. I mean, on that many carries, accumulating that much yardage, you get hit a lot.
Heavy eye formation. Once again, they're going to hand this off to West, and it's been an alternating kind of scenario with the run.
Was that Young?
Right. It might have been Youngblood with the tackle, so if he's back, that's going to be big for San Jose.
I think it was a 43. It might have just been someone on the sideline that might have stole his jersey and ran onto the field, but...
Hey, the tackle still counts if that's the case.
It does.
1st and goal, and they're going to look to sling this one off. Flag is up and onto the turf. Is this going to be pass interference?
It is.
And that is a very, very choicey penalty made. And now Boston will reset their downs, but at the 1-yard line. Now one of the little ticky-tacky, but he did get contact with Django West, it looks like.
Yeah, stepped right in front of him, and Now they just need 1 yard to go and see if they can push through. I mean, they have plenty of opportunities to get it, and they've been running the ball really well.
And you have to think, if you're the greedy person like DJ and I am, this is 4-down territory. Maybe a swing pass over to Cartwright, and the defense saw it right away. That's going to be a loss of a good 2, maybe 3 yards on that play.
Yeah, try and get them the rock, and it just doesn't work out at all. And, giving you a little bit more space, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe the pass is more of an option.
Again, going with that I formation with the 2 tight ends, and will be a handoff to Lenore West, who can't get past the line of scrimmage. And that is another big hit from the linebacking core, 3rd and goal.
Yeah, Bobby Green shot that gap, and now you got 4 yards to go if you're Boston. I mean, I think maybe you got to start considering a pass here.
3rd and goal. It's definitely a decision time for Boston. And they will go with a 7-step drop for West, and finds Kleinecht. Open look on the curl, and 6 on the board for Boston.
And just finding the open spot in the zone. Brett, we've talked about it all night. What a hitch from Kleinecht. He was moving at full force and then stopped on a dime to turn around. Nobody expected that one.
It was a perfect look from Dakota West as well, and that's the exact time you want to sling that rock to, just as that hitch, that curl starts to happen with the receivers, and Boston's going for 2. It'll be another quick throw back to Kleinecht, and the 2-point is good. And now Boston with a 7-point lead.
Wow, love the play call there. I love the guts to make sure you go for 2, tie the game up completing it. I mean, it could have been Django's ball, could have been Kleinecht. Both of them were in the area and could have had the ball. And now San Jose, even with a touchdown, only going to make it a tie game.
2:53 left to go, and then, like you said, it's a 7-point game. They can tie it with a touchdown and an extra point. This is definitely San Jose's time to get down and gritty. Returned at the 10-yard line by Kevin Parker, who will get to the 31-yard line. And now, if you're San Jose, is it White time? Is it time to get the lab cooking?
I think you've got to, and regardless of how many interceptions and turnovers he had last week, he passed for over 500 yards. He can move the ball. It's just you got to make sure you keep it in your own possession.
And if I'm Brady White, I'd be looking at the coach. I'd be looking at Art Vandelay and saying, give me the ball.
Yeah,
I will get you to where you need to be. They're shifting Rojas over the left side. Play clock down to 5. They will snap it off. 5-step drop for White. He'll try to find Cauduti, who gets a fantastic one-handed catch, and I like this decision to go with the hurry-up.
I agree, absolutely.
Back to drop again is White, looking downfield, looking for Smith, finds his target, and he will step out of bounds for a 7-yard gain to stop the clock at 2:34.
And I like that play call too. I mean, just running the little out route to your tight end and letting them get out of bounds and not having to waste the timeout too early. I mean, you have 4 right now, counting that 2-minute warning, and just got to keep.
You talked about this earlier, DJ. The levels of where to pass that football too, because that went middle and then it went short to the right side.
Yep.
2nd and 3 coming up here. They're going to shift Smith. Looks to be from left to right. Again, chewing up that play clock. Down to 4. They will snap it at 3. White back to throw again. That's a tough throw, but Rojas is there for the reception. Another 1st down, and they're going hurry up once again. White back to throw again, looking over the right side, finds Smith. It looks to be the kind of common denominator out of this. They find one receiver, and then they go to their tight end. Another out-of-bounds catch, but this time gets another 1st down.
Yeah, 2 mirrored little sets of plays there. I mean, you said it. I mean, over the middle, then out to the outside to Smith. I mean, and it's working really well, and controlling the clock really well. They've barely chewed any clock at all. 40 seconds taken off the clock right now, and they're already to about the 25.
Utilizing those timeouts in great efficiency. Yeah, almost using those sidelines as their own forms of timeouts as we get down to 2:19 now in the game. They're going to shift over one of the receivers to make it an even set. 4 receivers out, looking for his target, finds his man. Great look to Aiden Texera, gets 9 yards.
Oh, it was tight coverage.
And they're going to stick with this hurry up. Well, he back to throw in White, looking deep, finds the target and gets to the end zone. Who needs a 2-minute drill when you can get it ahead of the 2-minute warning? 6 on the board for San Jose.
What a throw, finding 83 right between the safeties. Threading the needle to perfection, crossing the goal line and making it a tie game.
The unspoken receiver of the Curtis family gets the touchdown, and we're now an extra point away from this being a tie game, DJ. What a contest we got ourselves into.
Yeah, and I mean, that one wasn't a lead change, but it felt like it. I mean, making it a tie, it's almost as big as a lead change, and now the ball is going to fall into the hands of Boston, and they've been so good on the ground up to this point. But right now, you have 3 timeouts and the 2-point conversion. I think it's going to be a little bit ill-advised to try and rely on the run game going further.
And Boston will have the 2-minute warning break as well. Hightower will get things started for Boston at the 30-yard line. 2-minute warning in this game. Tied contest after all these lead changes. We are back to ground zero. 35-35 with 1:58 left to go. Don't touch that dial. You're in for one hell of a finish. And now we're into the final 2 minutes of this contest. Brett Solberg alongside with DJ Kilganon, and this is going to be one of the big finishes of this SFLm Week 9 here, DJ. I'm going to put Klein.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say Kleinecht is going to be shifted forward, but they're going to hand things off to start off. Bismarck Wright, maybe the good idea because he has been getting chunk yardage for you, but only gets 1.
Yeah, and it's just so scary to try and rely on the run now. I mean, you have 3 timeouts and already about 25 seconds off the clock in one play.
Yeah, I think once we get to less than a minute, we'll start to see a little bit more urgency from this Boston offense. Handoff to Lenore West is stifled once again. So 2 plays in just 1 yard. Boston's got to make a decision here on 3rd down.
Boston, this drive already, Brett, has took off more time than San Jose did on their touchdown drive.
We are hurrying up here on this 3rd and 9. They do have 4 receivers out with an offset halfback to West's right. Will be West back to throw, finds an open target, finds the receiver. Good look to get that through, but they are not really hurrying things up. Maldonado with the catch.
Yeah, you need to bring the hurry. You got 50 seconds left with 3 timeouts, for goodness sake, and Maldonado just made a huge catch to bring you past the 45.
Once they cross midfield, we'll probably see the timeouts happen. Handoff to right, doesn't get to midfield, and now the timeouts start to hit. First timeout called by Boston.
I don't hate a run play if you're going to call a timeout anyway with how good your run game has been, but you just got to play more conservative going into the end of this one.
Yeah, and sometimes playing conservative can help you. Sometimes it can hurt you, especially if you're trying to win this game before the end of regulation. They're going to overload the left side. They are moving Friesen over to the slot. West back to throw, looking to that same side, almost intercepted, and that would have gone to the house. And what a story that would have been for Cletus Youngblood.
Oh, he was back on the field. Oh my goodness, that would have been such a comeback story if he would have took that for 6.
There would have been open field, a whole meadow to just frolic through if he wanted to. 3rd and 8 for Boston. West back to throw. They're looking left again. Finds their target. Hightower gets the first down. I would suggest calling a timeout, but they're not calling it. They're not hustling through.
Gosh, I can't believe it, man. I mean, maybe they're okay going to overtime, but even then, you're past the 40. Play with some urgency.
The magic line they got to hit is the 20 if they want to get decent field goal range. Handoff to right, and they are going to call their second timeout finally, but with 12 seconds left to go, they're almost content with going to overtime.
Yeah, it's so crazy because all they need is one more play like they just had to, was it Hightower on that little corner route? One more of those and you're arguably in field position. Field goal position.
100%. This is very conservative play calling from Boston. They need some aggression if I'm the head coach. Play clock down to 10. Looking for a target. It's intercepted! Archuleta with the tip drill interception, and San Jose will have the football with 6 seconds left.
I can't believe it. Oh, just bats it up, and it's like a setter in volleyball, sets it right up to himself. And Boston, if they go into this overtime and take a loss, you have to look back on that play calling.
100%. DJ, we've come to my favorite formation to call. It's the Hail Gary. With 6 seconds left to go, can Brady White sling that baby down the field is the question. But no, they're going to start with some routes here. And Rojas has space over the left side and will get tackled with 2 seconds left, DJ. That was about one shoestring tackle away from being ball game.
Yep, it would have been green grass. There would have been no one. There's a chance right now.
There is a legitimate chance for San Jose. If Rojas can get free, back to throw is White. He's going to throw short to Parker. He was the only open look. I don't mind it, but we're going to go into some free football, DJ. 35-35. We're heading to the 5th quarter.
5th quarter indeed, and after such an exciting game, folks, if you haven't hit the like button yet, are you still awake? What are you doing?
Now the all-important coin toss to figure out who's going to get first possession. This is the most important thing out of any overtime, because what we've seen a lot, especially in the major leagues, if you got the first possession, you're going to get the win. San Jose will receive, and now we'll beg the question later on. But first, we'll have to figure out what San Jose does with this ensuing drive. Free football underway, DJ.
And another game of overtime. This is 2 in a row for San Jose.
If you don't like this action, I don't know how you would like any type of football, because you've got to love watching some free stuff. It's going to be returned by Parker. Will get past the 20 over to the 27, and that is where San Jose is going to start things off. We saw a more aggressive Brady White down the stretch of the 4th quarter. Will that carry over into this overtime period?
And I can only imagine so, and especially with how good Boston has been at stopping the run.
And it's been a struggle for guys like Speedy Gonzalez and Ace Ketchum, those guys you expect to get big yards in this game. It's going to be a handoff to Gonzalez, trying to break through, and is stopped once again. Cruz with the tackle, only a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, just shooting that one. The Cruz missile staying to his name. And I mean, we just talked about it, how good they've been against the run. And you gotta maybe see some more urgency from San Jose. They have a guy like Brady White, who we know wants to sling the rock.
And this might be the formation to do it, because Parker, he is the tight end, but he's got the speed to go past. But it will be a handoff to Ant Tim, who will get a couple extra. They're going to give him 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 4 coming up for the flight offense.
Yeah, Scotty Kilgannon, the safety, just completely shot down and was playing really deep in coverage, but shot down, reading the run, and was able to make a stop before too much yardage was gained. And it looked like a lot of open running room.
And Jason Peace, I'm just seeing in the chat, San Jose has played Philly, then New York, and now Boston in overtime. They seem to know this overtime period is this pass is bobbled away. Call of Duty had a chance to grab the football, but the hit jarred it loose.
Yeah, Morgan Brown, the one who made that hit, and now assuredly going to see a punt now from San Jose with how far back they are into their own field. And now Boston going to get a second chance with the ill-advised play calling on the last drive they had. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
And that's what Boston needs to do if they're in their heads. They didn't get the conversion they wanted, and now they're going to get a decent return from Hightower, who goes past the 40. They will mark it down at the 41-yard line. And if I'm Dakota West, I'm forgetting everything that's happened in this last quarter. You just go back to what you did right in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hopefully try and rely on your run game. Keep it going. I mean, there's not a whole lot of pressure of the clock now. It's almost like the start of the first. You know, you just got to rely on what's going to work. Don't throw too many risky passes either.
And for anyone who is wondering about the overtime rules, it is first score wins. Doesn't matter if it's a field goal or a touchdown. Whoever scores first is the victor. Handoff to Bismarck Wright, who has cooked this defense all night, continues to cook forward for 8 more yards.
And yeah, again, just Bismarck getting in the work and so much good blocking from the front guys on Boston. We've seen it all night.
Over 100 yards is Bismarck right. Those are the games that he wants to have. And it's working well for Boston. This is a chance for Boston to get to third place in the leaderboard. A handoff to right is shuffled down quickly by Luis Quintana, who has been an MVP for San Jose in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We see so many of those plays where he just shoots the gap so well and tackles them right as the ball gets there.
Another big third down, 3 yards to the sticks. They have to make it to the San Jose 49. West is back to throw, has space, pump fakes to the other side, goes down middle looking for target, no chance. Ball was a little bit too short for Klein-Necht in double coverage. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, just the coverage was so good right there. No room at all for Dakota West to throw that ball anywhere safely. Now they're giving the ball back to San Jose.
Right now it's been back and forth between these two defenses. They have stood tight through these first 2 minutes of this overtime period, and that's what you want from your defense. It's going to be returned by Parker inside the 15-yard line. That's going to be a flag. This could be a clip, and that could set San Jose back.
Yep, it is.
And now with that penalty, San Jose is going to start themselves at the 10-yard line. So 90 yards to pay dirt. They'll maybe be comfortable with about 70 yards of offense. This would be the opportunity to get all your best plays out now.
Yep, absolutely. And maybe rely on Brady White a little bit more. But if that is the case, if you're going to do that, we cannot see a turnover right now.
You cannot cost a turnover in this deep of territory. Handoff to Ant Tim, who's got open field, but will only get 5 on the first down run.
Yeah, just decent room to run there, and if they can keep that going, the run game's going to be looking good. That's a nice change of pace from whatever they've been running, in the previous quarters.
Thick and heavy for 2nd down. Want to play it safe, and that's not going to work out. Ketchum immediately hit by Cruz, who is ready for that stretch run. 3rd down and 4 coming up.
Yeah, now here your playbook's still open, but your run game hasn't been amazing so far, and I'd almost guarantee we're going to see a pass here probably over the middle from Brady.
You got 2 receivers out. This would be a good chance for White to throw this, as he will, and tries to find Rojas, but the slide from Rojas might have been to his detriment as the ball falls incomplete.
Yeah, I can't even say my own last name right. Scotty Kilgannon gets a hand on it to bat that one away. And now San Jose punting from deep into their own territory. It's almost like, Brett, that these defenses just flipped a switch as soon as it was sudden death.
Yeah, both teams want to win this game. Boston more so for positional rights, and San Jose for more so bragging rights than anything, as Hightower will stumble his way through to the 47. And this is Boston's best opportunity if they want to at least get some points on the board, already starting in enemy territory.
Yep, absolutely. And you just got to keep doing they're trying to run like they had been, but Quintana blew it up. It's just not working. You got to find something that can.
Split backs on 1st and 10 to start off this drive, which has worked pretty well for this Boston team. West will be back to throw and tries to find a target down there, and it just doesn't end up working. It's going to be 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, Kevin Parker unable to hold on to that one, and that is just, you have to hold on to those in this spot. Or, excuse me, not Kevin Parker, it was Angel Maldonado.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Maldonado. He's just got to find a way to secure that catch. He is a fresh face, but he's got to remember that in key moments like this, you have got to step up.
Absolutely.
Shifting a receiver over to the right side. You might see something that they want a solo job on the left. West back to throw, pump fakes, but runs out of time. San Jose's defense stepping up again as Windstrom gets the sack.
And I think Grant Wistrom's the one filling in for Big Boss, and he makes a huge play there, able to make the sack. And now, if you're Boston, maybe have a replica of that first play you had, except catch it this time. You have to get a first here.
And now it's 3rd down in the distance between Boston and New York after that sack. West back to throw. Has some space, looking at the pocket, collapsing.
Oh!
It's Kleinecht over on the right side. And Kleinecht says Alveda Zane. Boston gets their third win of the season.
That is game, set, match. Mike Kleinecht, the hero of Boston, getting their third win on the season, and what a huge one it is, taking down the second best team in the league, a team that has had your number from the start. And Sakasi tried to get a pick. He tried to take it back the other way, and they said no. Dakota West seals it for Boston.
And this is a huge win for Boston, as now they have the advantage and have third place in their possession. Now it is up to them if they want to secure things for the final games of the season. DJ, let's talk about this game in full. What a back and forth contest we had between two stellar squads.
I mean, it was just so exciting all the way through. I never knew who it was going to be. If the Rick meter was here, it'd be broken. Just constant back and forth like flipping a burger. I mean, just such a tough fight from both of these squads.
And both these quarterbacks did really well tonight. And despite, Dakota West having the 2 interceptions, they were probably the stronger quarterback. And that was only because San Jose maybe played it a little bit too conservative in certain aspects of the game. And we didn't see much of Brady White. But Brady White was spectacular all on his own, found Rojas in perfect moments as well. The defense stepped up when they needed to. And man, it's one of those games that these players will come back and remember as one of their favorite games, not only to watch but to play as well. Absolutely. Any final thoughts? Any player of the game that you can think of right away?
Man, I mean, just the game was so balanced, really, for Boston. If I had to pick, maybe I would just pick Kleinecht. For that huge touchdown at the end. I mean, him and Bismarck Wright both had 2 touchdowns, but I think that one is, clearly is what sealed it. But it was just so unexpected, so exciting.
And that will make it the final. 41-35. Boston Rebels get it in overtime in a thriller. On behalf of DJ Kilgannon and producer and SFLm Commissioner Extraordinaire Alex West, I am Brett Sahlberg. What a game we had. What a slot of games we had this week, DJ. We will see you the next time the SFLm games come into action. But until then, we bid you a adieu.